Hello everyone, I am Tony Reeves and welcome to another edition of In the Know. A show dedicated to providing you with useful information, motivational content, and educational materials. And today, we're going to talk about how posting something online resulted in me getting some not so desirable attention from my employer, and how, after that incident, I became hypersensitive to what I post online, and the 3 fundamental questions before I post anything. Imagine sitting in a meeting with your supervisor and thinking that your supervisor is about to give you some great information about your job and, most importantly, your future with your job and your company. And then out of nowhere, you get hit with this statement from your supervisor. We have some concerns about something you posted online. No, wait, what? Where is this coming from? Well, what happened? What did I do? Now, if you've had something like this happen to you, it can truly knock the wind out of your sail. And let me be the first to tell you that I was no different. It happened to me, and it truly knocked the wind out of my sail. It started around 2003. At the time, I was an associate for a law firm, and one of the things that young attorneys try to do is work towards becoming a law firm partner. So you are always trying to figure out ways to create value for your company. So for me, I felt a great way to demonstrate my value to my law firm was a law blog. Blogs were really popular back then, and in my mind, I thought that by creating this blog, I could demonstrate a value that I could provide to the company I was working. Fast forward to 2006, where I now find myself at this dinner with 2 of my supervisors to discuss my future with the employer. So I thought this was going to be a discussion about increased responsibilities and my pathway to become a partner. So I was truly pumped up. However, during the meeting, one of the supervisors indicated to me that there was some concerns about posts in my blog. Now, interestingly enough, at that dinner meeting, there was no specific mention of the exact content that was a problem, which added to my confusion. So what happened was, on the next day, I spoke to my immediate supervisor in his office, who told me that he had been informed just prior to the dinner meeting that another manager had expressed concern about a specific post that I put in my blog. In this post, it was relating to the lack of hiring of minorities at our firm. When I put that post, it was perceived by the firm as being a jab at the firm regarding not hiring enough minorities. Now, the post that I originally wrote mentioned our firm had a total of 11 attorneys in 3 states at the time, and I was the only African American, which was true. But as I told my immediate supervisor, I mentioned that from a contextual standpoint because I went on to recognize how the firm supported all of my endeavors. In my mind and through my eyes, I truly saw them as truly supporting everything I stood for and multiple African American initiatives, regardless of the fact that I was the only African American attorney in the firm. In other words, I was very proud of everything they were doing. Unfortunately, the only thing that caused concern was the perceived slight to the firm regarding diversity in the firm, which was never my intent, and which regrettably put the post in a negative light. So today, I want to talk to you about 3 important questions that I now ask myself before I post anything, and how you should ask yourself these same 3 questions before you decide to post something online. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. When posting things online, there are some of us who fall into this belief that the internet is like Las Vegas. Whatever happens on the internet stays on the internet. As such, there are some of us who fall into this belief of thinking we will never have to address anything we post online in the course of our everyday life. However, what do you do if something you posted online is brought to your attention and now you can't defend, or you cannot defend, what you posted? The problem some of us face is that we think we know what is or is not important or relevant about what we post. We think that whatever we post online is somehow separate and apart from our world and the day-to-day things we do offline. However, you may not know how an organization or political body, or most importantly, your job, may view what you posted. So if you thought you could post something with no consequences, you need to be prepared to defend what you posted once you realize that there may be consequences. Which brings me to an interesting question that I often tell people to ask yourself this. When it comes to whatever you post, if you're trying to go viral, is going viral paying your bills? Now, I know that sounds corny, but think about this. One of the dangers about posting some content is that some people are more interested in having that viral moment, but not thinking about how that moment may negatively impact them. So if you post something that results in you getting a lot of likes or clicks or shares, but gets you nothing else, how is going viral helping you pay your bills? Now, the reality is that you don't really know. You do not really have an idea of what post or video or tweet that will result in you getting some measure of notoriety. Sometimes it's something fairly innocent. Sometimes it's something fairly outlandish. Unfortunately, the reality is, if the driving force behind you posting is to have something go viral, you have got to remember that going viral is not the end game. If going viral is not part of some larger process of getting exposure or achieving a particular goal, then gaining notoriety for the sake of gaining notoriety does not really mean a whole lot. Which brings me to a point about the life of your post. Remember, whether it goes viral or not, as we all know, anything that is put on the internet stays on the internet. As such, there may be things you post today that may not become relevant until tomorrow. In other words, you may post something today when you are not someone very important, meaning you're not in a position where you're garnering a lot of attention. But then all of a sudden, when you start gaining some notoriety or accomplishments, or you move to a particular job and a position, those posts become more importantly. Which brings me to the third and the final question. If you didn't care then, why do you care about it now? Because let's be real. We all do bonehead things. We all evolve, we all grow, and sometimes, just sometimes, we post things back in the day that has us saying, what the hell was I thinking? Now, there is nothing wrong with self-evaluation of past actions. However, there are some of us who want to act as if our former selves never existed. We want to pretend that the post from 5, 10, 15 years ago is from some person that was not you. Unfortunately, this creates a dangerous impression in the minds of the people who are trying to determine exactly who you are. So again, if you didn't care about what you posted when you originally posted something, why should we believe you when you say you care now? And this is where you have to own who you are as well as who you were. If you have truly grown, own the fact that you are a different person and show how you have grown if the post was something that makes you cringe even today. Most people will support your growth if you own your content and you can speak confidently about your growth away from the person that you used to be. Again, own everything about you. Own the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's it for today's In the Know with Tony Reeves. And I want you to remember something. You have a personal brand. And once you decide to post something online, whatever your post becomes affiliated with, it's going to affiliate itself with the brand you've created for yourself forever. So be prepared to own it, be prepared to defend it, and be prepared to use this to enhance your brand for the past, the present, and the future. As always, I thank you, our listening audience, for tuning in. If you have Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, type in "My name is Reeves" as my handle for more interesting content and to give me interesting feedback as well. As always, I'm Tony Reeves. Always make sure you're in the know and make sure to answer yourself the question, are you ready for the Anthony Reeves experience?